Introduction to Topicality. What is topicality? Topicality is a type of argument that the negative team can bring in the round. Topicality is used by the negative team to argue that the affirmative team's plan violates the resolution, meaning it falls outside of what can be talked about in the debate round. In other words, topicality is a formal way to let the judge know that the affirmative team isn't playing by the rule. What does that mean exactly? To better understand topicality, we first have to understand what a resolution is and the role it plays in a debate round. You can think of the resolution as the assignment for the debate season. When your teacher gives you an assignment, there are specific instructions about what they are asking you to do. The resolution works the same way. Usually, the resolution says that some actor, most likely the federal government, should do something. Let's look at an example. The United States federal government should make college more affordable. So, under that resolution, any plan the affirmative team brings into the round should follow the instructions, which is to find a way to make college affordable for students. When the affirmative team does this, they are supporting the resolution, which is their main job in the round. Remember that. As the negative team, you go into the debate round expecting to debate about whether to make college more affordable. Now, imagine you walk into a debate round and the affirmative team gets up and says, "Judge, we're going to talk about voting age. The United States federal government should make voting accessible to teenagers by lowering the voting age to 13. And you're like, "What?" Naturally, knowing the AF team's job is to support the resolution, and they're clearly not doing that, you want to tell the judge. Wouldn't it be nice if there was an argument that allowed you to call the affirmative team out on being off topic? That's where topicality comes in. In the example we just looked at, it was pretty clear that the affirmative team was off topic, but in most cases, it's not that obvious. It's usually more subtle and often revolves around what one particular word means. Let's learn how to use topicality. To do so, we're going to use this year's resolution and the Arms to Mexico case. Let's start with the resolution. The United States federal government should substantially reduce direct commercial sales and/or foreign military sales of arms from the United States. This resolution means that any case the affirmative team presents should greatly reduce the number of arms that the United States is selling to foreign nations. Now, let's look at an example of a plan for the Arms to Mexico case. The United States federal government should reduce direct commercial sales and foreign military sales of arms to Mexico. Is this plan topical? In other words, does it support the resolution? Let's look. Mexico is the 24th largest importer of U.S. arms. If the U.S. were to stop all exports of arms to Mexico, that would account for a 1% reduction of their total arms exports. Would you call a 1% reduction substantial? Assuming no, this means that this plan is not topical. Let's see how to prove that in a debate round, but before we do that, let's look at the structure of a topicality argument. Topicality has 4 parts: interpretation, violation, standards, voter. Interpretation is the definition of the specific word in the resolution that the negative team thinks the affirmative team's plan violates. Violation shows how the affirmative team's plan does not meet the definition of that specific word in the resolution that you've defined, and therefore, they are not supporting the resolution, which is the affirmative team's main job. Standards is the explanation of why your definition should be the preferred interpretation of the specific word. Lastly, we have voter, which explains why topicality is a voting issue, meaning that the negative team should win the round if they prove that the case is not topical. This usually explains why non-topical cases are bad for competition and education. Let's apply those 4 parts of topicality to the Arms to Mexico case. Part 1. Interpretation. We interpret substantial to mean important or large. Part 2. Violation. The affirmative team's plan is about reducing arms to Mexico. Mexico is only the 24th largest importer of US weapons and buys a comparatively small amount of arms. So it does not meet our definition. Part 3. Standards. You should prefer our interpretation of the word substantial because, if the affirmative team can read cases that do not substantially reduce US arms sales, it places a large research burden on the negative team. There are thousands of cases that could make a tiny change to US policy, and we can't effectively prepare to answer all of them. If we can't effectively prepare, debate would not be fair. Part 4. Voter. Topicality is a question that has to be answered before evaluating the affirmative team's plan. If their case makes debate worse, they should lose for the impacts they have on fairness and on education. Please check out our other video on how to respond to topicality.